Welcome, Narrative Changers, to our very first episode. Yes, first episode. We have a guest who is ready to tell his story. And as I stated from the jump, this platform is for the fathers who are having issues with the relationship with their kids. We're here for everything to work. We want to put the kids at the forefront. And for those who have those stories to tell, we're here for you, as well as the mothers and even the adults who have been brought up without a father and how it is affecting them to this day. So yes, we're going to change the narrative and we all are going to change it together. So yes, we have our first guest who is here to share his story. So by all means, let's get to it.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Blessings, blessings, Mr. No Name. How you doing, sir?
Not too bad, not too good.
Boy, the no, not too good part. I have an idea why the no good part, but
Yeah,
we can get into it.
man.
So where you calling from, if you don't mind?
Then at the United States, Maryland to be exact, DC area. Um, yeah, been here for a couple years. Do my thing, we work for the government. So as I said, I don't really want to display my information on the internet, cause work for government agencies. So you don't really want to display them thing there.
Man, understood, understood. So,
Uh,
what brings you to the platform? Because yes, because as my
well,
viewers may know, they know my story and what
mm,
I'm trying to do with this change in the narrative, and what the fathers have been enduring throughout the years. So
mhm.
what brings you here? What's happening with you? Tell us.
Well, it's kind of similar story to yours as well. Like being involved in your child's life for a few years, and the mothers decide like, hey, because of whatever reason or disagreement you and them have, that hey, you should no longer be a part of your child's life, and they will make up stories and try to um defame your character, and you know any kind of story that it make it seems like you are abusive or any type of situation like that. And it is easy for people to believe woman whatever story they put out there. It is believable by society without even checking to say, hey, why this happened, how this becomes an issue, or why you even trying to stop the father from having a relationship with the child. Like my situation is basically I am filing for my child to come to the United States, and
Yeah.
during that process the mother is well known and aware of the situation, and she is unable to travel, so she made up this story now that hey, I am trying to take the child away from her, which makes
Mm,
no sense and which was never a part of what I had in plan. You know,
mm-hmm.
I also wanted her to be able to travel because we was good up until it was the final moment in the filing situation where I am now supposed to go and get a DNA test, and then go to the embassy.
Okay. So before you continue, so it's a case where, based on what I've heard so far, it's your intent to file for the child and in turn
Mhm.
get his mother over in the States as well.
Yeah, yeah,
But the
yeah.
process
That
would have
was
started with the child.
Yeah, the process would have started with the child because, even though you talk to somebody for a period of time, you kind of have your uncertainties. You've seen certain things before, so want to rush into marriage and do certain things. So you kind of watch, child come into the place, thinking we are working together. And like I said, um, before the child even come into place, I've been providing for this person financially, during the pregnancy, after the pregnancy. It is just up until the time that we had certain issues and the filing come through, she just decides, say, hey, may I try to take out the child from her. And, you know, it's been an issue because even when you try to go through the court system, them not listen to you. Realize them give you all a thing like 50-50 custody, but you're still not getting anywhere with that because they're still capable of doing whatever they want to do. The police not necessarily helping you because it's a civil matter. And you just
Mm.
spend this one bag of money back and forth to travel. So it kind of it's crazy, man. It's crazy,
Ah,
man. It's
and
very
when you met,
very stressful as well because it even cost me my job already.
really?
Yeah, it cost me my job because you're constant back and forth. You can't focus. You have
Mm.
to take time off of work and all of them things. As me I say, you have to focus in on my thing. Cause whole heap of danger involved in what me I do.
Oh, based on your job. Okay.
Yeah, so it just costs a thing, so we just have to shift up something. The resume good, so we was capable of getting another job. But the whole situation stressful, bro. And I can't afford to, lose myself because I'm a child or because of a
Mm.
situation like this. Because it's not really the child that is causing this. You know, being there for the child, being supporting. I'm just starting on my situation. I'm gone over $1 million Jamaican already.
Oh boy, that could have been gone towards the
And
child's account, college
yeah,
fund or something.
that is my intent too. You want the child to come to America so that you can set up certain things, set up certain account, and there's a lot of benefit to the thing as well. So it benefit both me and the mother as well, and not only
Mm.
us, the child. Which should be the most important thing between all of us, no matter what we are going through. We're supposed to put the child at the forefront at everything, every decision that is being made. But
And that's I'm glad you mentioned that because that is one of the main pointers in my whole movement is putting the
mhm.
child at the forefront.
But
Everything we do as parents should be in the
ah,
best interest of the child.
I don't want to come off as what you call sexist or whatever. But it seems like it's just a thing with these modern ladies. I don't want to come off as I say as sexist, but I don't know how to explain it because this only seems to happen to the fathers that want to be a part of their fathers, want to be a part of their children's life.
Hmm. Hmm.
Men
And
that are known to just neglect and just vanish out of the situation. Them don't go through situations like this.
yeah, man, the men, and the thing is, the actual deadbeats who does not care about the child any at all, they get to go to roam through life freely without any issues, any have to go into court and all of that because they don't care. So the mothers don't even bother to
Right.
pressure them because they know nothing will come of it. It's only
Right.
us fathers who really wants to be a part of our children's lives.
Yeah.
We have to endure these things, and it's rather
Mm-mm-mm.
unfortunate. And that's what we want to change.
Trust me. I've seen other fathers endure the situation. I've seen other men cry over the situation where they have no access to their child. And all is happening is just money coming out of their paychecks and, you know, not being able to have access to your child and be able to influence your child in enough form or way, to have conversations with them, to make time for them. It's not just about money,
Mm.
It shouldn't only be about money. You shouldn't only trying to communicate with somebody when you need money, you
And
know?
that's the thing. As I said, you're bringing up some points that I'm glad you are in terms of that financial aspect. It seems as if that is what is required of the father in the
hmm
bearing of the child. So once
Yes,
he's providing money, that's his only requirement. You
that
don't
cannot be
need
the
that.
only requirement.
It's
Because
unfortunate.
I grew up in a two parents household. So I grew up and see my father doing thing and take care of every situation. Like Most people would want to be a kept wife. My mother was a kept wife, you know.
Mhm.
So I grew up with the responsibility of seeing that a man must take care of certain things, and I do that, you know. So even with you doing that, you're not valued or respected. You know, if you decide to say, oh, the situation is no longer working, it just turned out into this big thing that it not even need to be. Sometimes everything can be solved with a conversation. Just be respectful to each other. You know,
That's
that's
true.
all is required. You know, and just put the child, as I say, at the forefront of everything.
Mhm.
You know, what is best for the child. You know.
Yeah, man, and one of the statements that I would have made is the hate for the father should never be greater than the love for the child. So
You know.
once these mothers can understand and accept that, because the child, no matter if the father is not paying child support, if he's not
Mhm,
any issues he's having with the mother, when
mhm,
that young child sees his father, he's going to run to them and hug them. They don't
mhm,
care about all of those
mhm,
material aspects or the issues that the mother and the father may have. They just
mhm,
love their father and want to be with their father.
mhm. But you
So,
also have to
once
take
the
into
love, if
account,
you
you
love
know.
the child, you should
Mhm.
want that for the child to have a relationship with their other parent.
But as you said, the hate for the other parent is greater. So that is what takes the forefront for them. Like is basically like them feelings override logics.
Mm.
You understand? Um, if you're putting the child at the forefront of every situation, you know, you should know that the child need both parents, you know, and to even put it out there in my situation where my child mother is saying I'm trying to take the child away. Why would I want to take a child away from his mother? That makes no sense. You understand? You understand me? I would never want, no matter what situation me and I have, me never want to put a child in a situation like that. You know, because I have other child, I've never had this situation before. This is the first time I'm having a situation like this.
Okay.
And like I say, I've seen other people endure it, but I never know how stressful it is. Sometimes you're like, you know, I'm sorry I go through this, or, you know. But when you have to endure it,
Yeah,
it's a
it's a
different ball game.
total different feeling.
Yeah,
So,
it's a
so
different
let me
ball.
ask. Um, so prior to you filing for the child so he can get his citizenship and be
Mm-hmm,
open to opportunities here in the States, what was
mm-hmm.
the relationship in terms of communication and so forth with the child?
It was great. I would talk to my child twice, 2 times a day, three
Mm.
times, video call, several visits to the island to see him, you know? Whatever it takes. There's nothing that I would miss, you know?
So in
Nothing,
your
nothing.
estimation, it would be a case where it's the issue arose once the idea of you taking the child away, you filing for him
Yes,
and you coming to America.
right.
It seems
But
as if
it,
that's what she's scared about.
right, but it is other people communicating, like having conversation with her to believe that is my intent, or to say,
Mm.
yo, you know, you cannot be trusted. I mean, even when you communicate it to say, yo, that is not my intent, or this is my intent, and this is my plan, or whatever. I don't know what the issue is, but it all boils down. In my situation, I think it all boils down to money. You understand?
Mm.
And if it is not money, it's just like you said, is a hate for the father. You know? Because I'm not gonna say I'm perfect, you know? Because there's things that have been said, you know, whenever people in a relationship we have argument back and forth, you know? But as I said, put the child at the forefront of everything where we are doing right now. If the situation is not working, we can just leave the situation and just move on and focus on the child. But the
Mhm.
child must be able to see both parents. It can't be a situation where if I need to see the child, I only have to go to the island to see the child. and the money that is put into the situation before prior to this, it's like there's no care for that, you know?
Uh,
No care for the money that you
maybe a case
spend.
like you have unlimited funds.
I don't want to say I have unlimited funds, but it seems as if it all boils down to finances, as I can say. Because once I said to her, like, listen, because like I said, I pay for everything. As like I said, everything I pay for, all the bills, everything. So it reached to a point where the situation is not working, so I cut down the money. And once I cut down the money and the filing almost come through, is her fear is me not gonna give her no more money.
Mm. Oh, so
You know?
the child
So
in this instance sounds like the child is being used as leverage. So once the child is there, you would provide
yeah,
funds. But if the child is not there, you have
right.
no reason to provide funds.
Right. But my as I said, my intent is not to take the child away because as a US citizen, that my child is automatically a US citizen as well. Just need to work out the formalities of the paperwork,
Mm.
and you
Paperwork.
understand, right?
Mhm.
So the idea was that he would be here for a short time, and once his paperwork has been completed, I would send him back to the island because it is more affordable to raise a child on the island and around his mother than to be completely around me. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
was trying to formulate parental plans where, all right, you get to keep him during the school time. Whenever I visit the island, we can have access to him.
Mm.
Whenever him get him break them from school, him can visit me in the States, and you know,
Okay.
you'll have access to all the detail and the data. So you're not gonna get, you know, omitted out of anything. And furthermore, may I say, yo, provide him with his own device. So feel like say you are being barred from communicating with him or being feel like me a
Mm.
hover over your communication time with your child. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I try to do them thing but me not feel like me I get no help, me not feel like me I get no access. As me say, me try with police, me try with lawyer, me try with um we call it counselors. Me try with pastor, and it just seems like me even communicated with the Child Protective Services on the island as well, and they were the one who say, "Oh, daddy, you have to go fight for your child because the mother is unreasonable," you know. But with you
Mm.
being overseas, it's hard to fight a battle that is on the island, and you have to work, and as I said, it costly.
Yeah, it's
I
very
mean, I want
costly.
sometimes you have to think about it. Is it worth it? Especially when you have other kids worrying
Mm.
about you have to say, hey, you can't focus on one basket when you have other people relying on you, you know? So it
Yeah.
it, it, it complicated, man. It complicated. And
So,
this make me even afraid if you ever have more kids. Me I tell you the truth.
uh,
I tell you the
uh,
truth. I don't know, man. Time ready if you tie up it, see, you know?
well, you made a statement just now that really stood out to me. So you said you contacted the CPFSA. For those who don't know, that's the Child Protection and Family Services Agency in Jamaica,
Yeah.
and their comment to you was to, "Boy, father, you have to fight." But I thought they were the one to assist.
I thought so too, but the thing with my situation, the mother was hiding. So at one point, I didn't know where she was with the child. So they were like, they have to know the actual address the child is at. And like I said,
Mhm.
it's hard to do all of that when you're overseas and you
Yeah.
have to focus on everything when you have to focus on. So it's like, what them say, I get a report ID or a number or something like that
Mhm.
so you can track the thing or you can follow up and all of that. But the process is kind of slow, so
Yeah.
it's complicated. But they did give me good advice in
Okay.
terms of how I should move about the situation, and but like me say, the mothers have a lot of power and they are supported by society in general. and everybody believe them story without checking or fact checking what is being said, you know, and
Um,
paint the fathers in
um,
a bad way, a bad light, and everybody, we all have emotions. So when people attack, tell lies on you, you go reel up and make a
yeah,
scene.
yeah.
So
We're at the end of the day, we're all humans, so
yeah,
emotions are gonna get involved.
no matter how stoic you might think you be, once
Yep.
certain things are being said about you, it will cause you to act upon emotion, and sometimes you're not proud of it, but
Mm.
it's a complicated situation when you love your kids and you can't have access, and the only way you get even to communicate with them is when them call you to get money.
Uh, so,
Just paint a narrative. They're like, and if you even tell them, it's a thing where it is neglectful when the mother is like, ask your daddy, or tell your daddy if you do this, or your daddy not do. You get what I'm saying? Because you're painting an image like, oh, your father don't want to take care of you,
mm,
but
so
not letting the child know that your daddy really want to see you and spend some time with you, and I will not give him the time of
yeah,
day.
I give the real reasons. So that's the next thing.
Yeah,
So, and that's where this whole movement stemmed from. Where
need to
this
change the narrative.
deadbeat father thing was just being thrown around when, as you stated, you're doing what you need to do, but because the mother is not pleased, you're now branded as deadbeat, and that's the
Mhm.
narrative we're trying to
It,
change,
it's not
especially for
even.
us fathers who are doing everything in our power to be a part of our kids' lives.
I
So this
tell
this
you.
this fathers needing to fight. No, we are changing it to the mothers who are preventing the fathers from getting access to their kids. They need to stop.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
it's no
they
longer
need
fathers fight. It's mothers stop.
stop. I agree totally. It's
Because
they need to be
again,
stopped.
once they stop doing what they're doing, everything
Mhm.
should be fine.
Everything would be gravy.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And before we move on from the whole child protective services in Jamaica, I should be. So I'm just plugging this now. I should be speaking with them
Mhm.
on one of these episodes where they will, give an outline of what they offer and how they can assist fathers in our situation,
Right.
how to
I'll get.
maneuver it, and so guys, you can look forward to that episode coming soon as well, because we're going to have them here on this platform to basically elaborate on the services they offer and how they can assist the fathers going through similar situation as ours here.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
so let me ask you this:
Yeah.
what 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 is the outcome you're looking for? What would you like to happen? So you're putting this out there.
Right.
A lot of persons won't know exactly who you are or support, but the right persons will know and have an idea. So what is it that you would want to happen?
Honestly, I just want peace, and I
Hmm.
just want to be able to co-parent in peace and be amicable and have access to my child mainly. I don't want to be a father that is only giving money to my child. I want to have an actual say in his life. I want to
Hmm.
actually have time. I want to, make memories with him,
Yes, yes.
because that's the type of father that I am, so definitely that is what the outcome I want. I just need my access to my child.
Mhm.
Once you have access, you will be able to mold your. Because for me, I have sons, you know,
Mhm.
and I want to mold them to be the type of man that will do the right things and say the right things. I don't want to just leave them to become a statistic where, them add to crime and all that type of situation. No,
You want to impart your values, your morals, your knowledge. You want to be a part of
exactly,
grooming and
exactly, brother.
raising your son.
Right. I know the type of work that my father did. So I want to also do the same thing for my sons. and even do a better job, because only a father would want to see their child doing better than them. I don't know no other people who want that. Only fathers want that, to see them daughter or them son I do better than how them used to do. You know? I always
Essentially,
sacrifice anything.
that's the thing. Us again, and let me be specific to the audience. I'm speaking about the fathers who wants to be a part of their kids' lives.
Mhm.
We are the ones who are having this issue. We're going to eventually call out those fathers who just don't care because don't impregnate someone and just leave. No, we're not supporting that, but we're going to get there. But for now, for the fathers who are here, who are willing, who are present, all right, what has happened has happened. You have the mothers would have done what they have done up to this point. We're now asking, let it stop now. Let us move forward in a better direction for the kids, for the children.
A
That
positive
is what we're
direction.
pushing. So what's in the past is in the past. Because again, we want to use this platform for the betterment of everything. We want it to be better for everyone. So mothers are going to come here as well because we want to hear their stories in terms of what's happening, what is the issue, what have you done, what have you not done, so we can correct the mothers as well, because that is the one of the main reasons. Again, we want the mothers to stop. So maybe they don't directly know what it is that they're doing. So when they
Yeah.
come and share their stories and what they have been doing and so forth, we here can point out, say, hey, when you made that move, that pushed the man away. Because, so the entire movement is to make things better for everyone. And with the child being the main beneficiary, having mommy here, daddy here, a wholesome life. And that is what we're encouraging. So well, we will connect outside of the platform.
Yeah, man.
What I'll do, anything you need assistance with in terms of any links, be it a lawyer, be it the same child protected services, whatever
Yeah, man.
resources available to me, I will provide to the guests who come on this platform, because again, the aim is to make things better for the family, for the children to grow up whole, having being well balanced. That is what we're encouraging here. Um, you mentioned the court system before we conclude. What happened there? Do you have a current court order in place, or what's happening with the court?
Well, yeah, we have a court order in place. Currently, we have a 50-50 custody
Okay.
order, where I have liberal access and she has care and control. However, I think the terminologies are very confusing to her at times, because it says care and control. I think she takes that as she has full say in what the child does and how I, the father, get access.
Mm,
And liberal access, as I've explained to her, like, hey, it means that I have full access. And I even asked the court as well, like, what does this mean? And I was told that, hey, once you're here on the highland, you have access to the child. You and the mother should try to communicate and work the situation out. And, but
mm,
I wanted something more structured, but the court doesn't allow us as fathers to speak, especially when the mothers are the one that brings the situation into the court. You know,
mm,
I wasn't asked to display any evidence. The mother wasn't asked to display any evidence. It's just, all right, oh, you want custody, 50-50 custody. And that was it. And
So, this.
since that court hearing, or since that situation, I have not have access to the child. It's just been the same situation like it was previously. It's just like she's saying she's just trying to catch you in a moment to say, oh, she's trying to give you access. But whenever I show up and I try to meet her at the police station, it's just the same back and forth arguments. And I'm like, I'm not here for an argument. I just need to take the child and go have my a time with him for the period of time that I'm on the island, because
Mm-hmm.
she's like, all right, you're going to take the child away. And I'm like, I can't take the child away just like that. I would still need to complete the process. And the date has already passed.
Mm. Yeah,
So,
because he needed his passport and all of that to travel with him.
right, right. I need his passport. But the funny thing, I have all his passport, his Jamaican passport, and the other one, because, like I said, I was in his life up until that point, doing
Mm.
everything. So it wasn't a case where I was even hiding anything. I even, for at one point, because when I initially started the paperwork, she was so scared. I'm like, yo, no, I'm not trying to do this. I gave her the passport to comfort her. Like, hey, I'm not trying to. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
you're
not
not trying
what
to
I'm trying to do. I'm
take
not
him
sure
away.
where you're right, and I'm not sure where you're getting this information. But yeah, as you know, women have them group of people with them have them conversation with, and sometimes one of the best group of people. So no matter how much I try to communicate it, I tell her straightforward, lean, up and down, left and right.
Mm.
It is not being received. Like, I'm not trying to do this, but that's why I'm like, it has to be about the money, because I'm like, all right, probably if him stay with me, let's say him stay with me in America for 3 months, 4 months, right? I'm like, all right, if him must stay with me, I wouldn't have need to give this all this money. You get me? I say, I don't have a problem with help out a situation, but you get me? I say, I wouldn't need to, because of course it is more expensive for the child to be here, and you think about the travel expenses and all of that.
Yeah.
You know, no, it's fine when we were in a relationship, but if we're not in a relationship and you decided to take me to court and it's a 50-50 thing, we should both share the expenses.
Share the expenses, yeah.
Right. And
Ideally, that's how it should go.
ideally, but like I said, she don't want that. She just want me to just continue to pump money into her situation. So it's
Fair enough.
complicated, man. Like I said, like it is tiring to the point
Mhm.
where I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to continue to give you any money without a structured plan, because I provided her with a structured plan to say, hey, this is the situation. And she was adamant, like, I'm not signing it because the child's in it. Then the paperwork, it still say that the child will travel. I'm like, how else will I have time with my child? It's 365 days in a year, and if it is that he's going to stay with you and go to school, you are getting most of the time. So
Mhm.
I would just technically get in 60 days if you look at summer as 2 months, and
Mhm.
probably another week in Christmas, another 2 weeks when we get some time off from work or whatever, and can go spend some time with him during him school period. You understand? So
Yeah.
it me still now get half the time to spend with him. You know? So no, it just become like you're coming like a telephone that at this point. And you know have no impact on a child raising them over the telephone. It is hard as it is being so far from them.
Yeah.
You know?
But even then, you said you're hardly getting to him on the phone now.
No,
So
at this point, I haven't spoken to him in weeks, and now when I do speak to him, I can see that he is being told negative things about me, and it is very hurtful. So at this point, like I don't even want to call. You know, I don't even want
um
to call.
quick question. I don't think I asked earlier. How old is the child?
My child is just 3.
Okay. Okay. So he
It's very
understands
young.
what. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Very
very young. But like I said, I've been there before, during, and after.
mm,
You know, it's to the
um
point I have provided so much care when I when I went to the court, and I tell the lawyer how much was providing. He was shocked, and he's like, if she should ever ask for child maintenance, she would be shocked at what she would get.
that you get way less. Based on what you're
Yeah,
saying, it sounds like she was getting a lot. But if she should go in front of the court, she
trust
might
me,
end up
bro.
getting less.
Trust me. Millions, millions in a year. Jamaican millions, but millions nonetheless, you know?
Yeah, yeah, of course. It's a million wherever you go,
Not one.
right?
You know,
No, but I
uh,
also want to touch back on that court thing and the parental plan that you mentioned
yeah,
because, as I said, my situation sounds very similar to yours, but you may have to, the court may have to incorporate that parental plan in the court order itself for it to be followed. Because based on what you're saying, the court order, yeah,
yeah.
50-50, but it sounds pretty vague.
It is vague.
So the
It is
order itself
vague.
may have to be very detailed for her to
Right, and
understand that,
structure.
hey, summers, Christmases, in the court order it says you should
Right.
get him from X period to that period. So I think
Yeah.
that may need to be done. So they need to may need to alter that court order to incorporate the parental plan so she get a full understanding of what is required of her.
I do agree with all of that because, like I said, I spoke with a lawyer and he explained that I will need to go back to the court to get the structured plan put in place.
Yes, yes.
Um, like I said, it's very expensive. So I was like, you know, my other friends would advise me and say, "Oh, leave that alone. Just leave it alone. We know you're not deadbeat. She can't say anything, you know." But
It's
you
not
know, just
easy.
it not easy, me I tell them, G.
Easy. Trust me. I tried it. It's not easy to just back off.
It not easy for just back off and if you tell her the honest truth, just like you said, rather than to go give a lawyer this money, I would have rather given it to her to say, yo, you know what? Let's just squash this situation. You know?
Mm.
Is it the money that you want? Here's the money. Just, let's just sign this and let's just give each other access. Because me really don't want to go to court. Not like
I
the
trust me.
idea.
I understand.
Trust me. Trust me. So I just that. So at this point, it's like my back off and just really think about what me I do going forward
The
because
next steps. Hmm.
yeah, I don't really want to rush, but I have spoken to a lawyer and they have given me the same advice you're currently giving me to go back to the court and have the judge put the structured plan in place.
Hmm.
So I'm just a wait
Yep.
right now because, like I said, I'm trying still to communicate with her to say, hey, you know, and I was
Let's
trying to
settle
go
this
back.
outside of the court and
Yes,
arrange our
let's
time
settle
together.
this outside of the court because it's more beneficial to you if we settle this outside of the court rather than going to court. Because there's no proof that I was not taking. I have all my financial evidence to prove that I was providing for the child for years and the amount of money I've spent and you know the amount of time I've traveled back and forth to see him. I
Yeah.
have written evidence from others to account that each time I'm on the island, I'm there taking care of my child and doing what is necessary as a father. So I don't know. Court court
I
me
said
really want to go, but it might have to go back into that situation. And based on how long I am observing when I was watching your videos, I'm like, oh my God, you've been doing this for how many years? And it just put me in a depressing state when I saw that, and I'm like, I'm just at the beginning stage, and I am this stressed already, and I can't afford for it to break me in life. You know?
yeah. So that's a real emotion evoked out of you, but I don't. So it's good and it's bad because I want people to understand what has happened and what's actually happened. But in the
Mm-hmm.
same breath, why I even start this movement, I don't want a person to be discouraged from attempting to be a part of their kid's life. But I'm hoping with what is happening here, the
Yeah.
mothers will see that hey, the men want to be a part of the kid's life. Let me just step back and stop this, stop what I'm doing.
Exactly. Like I said, I want to not go to court and just deal with it outside of court and just be amicable and be respectable to each other. Like that's all
And
is
it's possible.
required. And
And
if
that's
it
the
is
thing,
that we can work
there
out
are
the
parents who are
finances.
co-parenting very well. And I'm going to
Yes.
get them on here on the platform as well to share what they do to make it work.
Like I said to you before, I have other kids, and this is the first situation that I'm ever going through with this, and I've never had any issue with co-parenting with my other parent, the other parent of my first child. You know,
Mm,
never had an issue for years, and that child is currently living in the United States. You know, doing very well for himself. You know, I don't want
okay,
to
sounding
speak on
good.
him too much, but he's doing exceptionally well. And you know, that mother constantly gives me praise for the work that I have done.
In
You know,
raising your son, your big son.
right? My oldest son, yes. So there's a constant praise for the work that I have done. He's a top student, you know.
So there we go. It's
Like,
possible.
mm,
It's
it is
possible.
what you mean, man. If it is possible, I've done it before. I've raised my child and co-parent with his mother and had no form of issue and any disagreement we had. We just work it out face to face and have a conversation. It was nothing, but there was always respect. So that is what it is. There is
Mm,
respect, you know, for each other, and you want, you know, you have mothers that are very appreciative of what you do, and that's all it takes. Just show your appreciation and give you access and give you say, you know. There's no decision that is made with my first child without me being aware.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
No schooling, no clothing, nothing. And my son called me himself, you know, tell me exactly what to buy. You know, I'm old enough. I'm old enough to tell me anything he wants. I can communicate and wherever him have discomfort. Even at times his mother is like, you know, there's certain things that your son don't talk to me about, but she noticed that he will have any form of conversation with me. Because like I tell him, yo, there's no question you can't ask me. There's nothing as a dumb question. You
Mm.
know? It's always a learning moment, you know? You can always learn something. Just ask whatever is on your mind, you know? If you feel like the question dumb, Google it.
Yeah. So based on what I'm hearing, you have done it before. So you have the blueprint. It's just for this mother to just
Yeah,
understand that, hey, you're not trying to take the child away from her. You just want to be a part of your son's life.
that's
And you
all.
guys can raise that child together for him to have a fruitful, wholesome life
Yeah,
with both parents.
that's all,
And
man.
that's the aim of this channel is to get everyone on board for the purpose of the child.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main objective
Right,
of
right,
what
right,
we're trying
right.
to do.
That is, you know, because like I said, it can be done. Because I am proof that it has been done before, you know. And
With your eldest son. Yes.
right. So me having this issue now is kind of like, you know,
So it's foreign to you. I don't know what's
it,
happening
it
here.
is it is foreign to me because I've never experienced this before, and I've never have anybody trying to tarnish my reputation in such a way, like, you know, you're a deadbeat father, you're not trying to take care of your child, or you know, you're not consistent, and it is just all lies, you know, all lies.
We're gonna break the barriers down, man. That's where I'm glad that you took the opportunity to come on the platform and share your story. I know it will be received well by the audience, and I honestly hope that mother sees it as well and hear you and understand that, hey, it's no, there's no issue, there's no big deal, there's no nothing. I just want to be a part of my son's life. I just want to sort out his paperwork, and that's going to be a better opportunity for him as well in the future. and there's no intent to take the child from his mother. But we
And
need to
that,
share. We need to
yes,
share
you
the
need to
presence
share.
of the child.
Yep. You
Yeah,
need to
man.
be able to
And as I said
communicate.
earlier, any assistance you may need, anything I can assist with, I'm here to assist. I'm here to share
Yes,
my
sir.
knowledge, share whatever resources, and we'll be
Yeah,
in
man.
touch. And who knows, maybe
Yeah,
in the near
man.
future, can get an
Yeah,
update
man.
of
Hopefully.
what happened with No Name, Mr. No Name.
Hopefully. Like I said, yeah, I
But
can't display certain information because of the type of job that I am in. So,
no, man, I said it's not a
like I
problem.
said,
It's not a problem. But I said the audience and the other women, everyone will be listening and you'll understand that, hey, there are scenarios like this where it seems as if it's all about the money. And we're letting it known that it can't just be about the money. The fathers like us want to play a part in the rearing of our child, in the brought up of our child, in the growing of our child,
yeah.
especially our sons.
Yes. I've seen
You know, we
situations
want to
where
mold them.
fathers,
Yeah, we want to help mold them.
yeah,
And it's difficult to know that you have a young man growing up and you have no say in what's happening with him, especially in this day and age where the technology, the it's so chaotic. What's happening now in the world? So you want to play a part in raising your own child.
yeah,
So again, I'm very appreciative of you joining me to have this discussion and sharing your story and I know it's not easy because again a lot
Chat
of us
easy.
men doing things like this and coming out and speaking out about certain issues that it's not easy. But you took a step. You're not
Yeah.
fully out there, but just for us hearing your voice, that's a plus. And I'm grateful for that.
No problem.
I'm grateful for that.
Well,
Yeah, man, I'm truly grateful, believe me. And
no, man, we all laugh about the situation, but like I said, bro, it is a painful situation. Now I can laugh, but initially when I reached out to you, it was not like this.
yeah,
I was very angry, you
yeah.
know. I was
And
upset about the
and people,
situation.
I had to calm him down somewhat and just let him know that, because again, a
Yeah,
lot of persons, based on what I've gone through, I'm able to kind of
guide.
help them
Mm.
navigate the situation somewhat, what to expect, what to look out for, and so forth. And it kind of helps. So I'm
Trust me,
here to
man. It
assist in
help
any
a
way
lot.
I
It help a lot, man. It help a lot. Is a conversation with you, where I was like, I'm seeing where you're making so much effort, and it was like watching your situation was like mirroring my situation, and it's like
can.
this is just like my situation, and I see the effort and how long you was doing it, and I'm like, I have to take a different route to this situation, because, you know, them trying to paint that image of me and, me coming off as being angry because genuinely, I'm genuinely upset,
Of course,
you
you're
know,
gonna be upset.
genuinely upset because of the amount of money you spend and the effort and time you make, and it's just at the last moment you choose to do something like this. It is just, it baffles my brain. Baffles me, man. It baffles me. I not understand, like, why would you stoop to this level to do this? And is it hate? You hate me that much? You know, you think about the child. It's just complicated, man.
No man,
Very
things are gonna
complicated.
work out, man. Believe me. As I said, persons who know you are knows the voice or knows her or whosoever, even though who don't know that you're the one here speaking, but kind of have an idea of your
Yeah,
situation
yeah,
or know her and say, hey, what's happening with your son's father? And because
yeah,
again, we're
yeah,
sparking these convos. We want the woman because funny enough. My
Mm-hmm.
audience is majority women.
Oh
So I
my.
want them to talk to their girlfriends, talk to their aunts, talk to their female friends, say, hey, what's
Yeah.
happening with the father of your child? And, help
Yep.
them make things better for the child. That's what
Yep.
we're pushing. And everyone has to be involved. It can't just be us men over here. No, the women play a critical role
Takes a village to
in
raise a child.
yeah, man. And that has been gone. That's the next topic we may have to speak to where it's like that whole village mentality has gone through the window. But we leave that to another time for another time. But we may have to speak on that and bring that back where everyone plays a part in bringing forth
Yeah.
the children in this world.
You see something, say something. Cause
Yeah, man.
when I say, oh, them paint a image as if man is all bad. Me nah say you have some dirty man that road still and some
Of
waste in
course.
you know. Yeah. But I know every man stays so. Just like I know every mother stays so. Cause me know some awesome mothers, you know. Me know some
Exactly.
great mothers, you know, would have never do certain things and have never done certain things, you know, and never even when them not working with their significant other, the process is smooth. The co-parent process is smooth. There's no
Mm,
hiccups. There's no nothing, and the child comes to be, you know, something great in society.
yeah,
You
man.
know,
Those
I've
parents,
seen it.
yeah, a parent prioritize the child. So yes, they may have an ill
That is
feeling
it.
towards the other parent, but me not
That
like the
is
boy, but go and go spend time with your father.
basically, you know,
You know?
because at the end of the day, the child is 50% of each parent.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
it might
And
look like you, but it might act like me.
mhm. And that's what I think needs to be remembered. It, it, it,
Mhm.
it's both of you who made that child. So this
Yes.
this ownership, like my child
Hmm.
only. Me alone can raise the child. Me alone know what's best for the child. That's another
Hmm.
thing. It seems as if in this society is like only mothers knows what's best for a child.
Yeah.
Again, I said there are a lot of little topics that I'm going to touch on, but
It's the
we
situation
have
and
time.
environment.
We're new, and we are growing together. The platform is very new, but it's growing
Yeah.
pretty fast. And with persons like my guest here making the effort to come and join me for a conversation, it's only going to get better from here. So again, I
Yeah.
want to thank you very much for
No
joining
problem.
me to have this convo. And I hope persons will hear and things will change in your situation in the near future.
Trust me, I pray. I pray me I got church.
Yeah, man. You need to, man. Every
I
any
got
avenue
church. Any
that
avenue
yeah,
where
man, you
can
need.
help you release the stress from me, I got you kind of take it. And, you know, 'cause as I tell you before, it's a very stressful situation. It take a toll upon your finances, even if your finances are good once you start going into lawyers and court for back and forth to see a child. It is
Yeah,
very expensive and it comes at you
especially
very fast.
especially the fact that you're not on the
Right?
island. That's the next level of expense that the
Yeah,
persons will need to understand.
it's an expense you wasn't planning for, you never actually budget for, you
Hmm.
know. And when it comes, it's like, all right, you have to go into your savings now, you know. Savings go save for rainy day, but you never did I expect that rain to fall.
Yeah, that's a thunderstorm, eh?
A thunderstorm, as when me say, bro, like 2 months, a million me spend, bro. You know, and it's just crazy. Just watch the money just go. You it's crazy.
But things are going to be better, and as I said, we're going to change the narrative. This whole, broad brush of men being deadbeat dads and
Yeah,
change the
yeah.
narrative.
I wish the court them would
Fathers,
do more to police
there's no
them.
need for a person to be fighting to be a part of their child's life.
No.
Whosoever is putting up a blockage or a barrier or an obstacle, they need to stop. And in this current case, it's the mothers that are putting up the barriers, and we're telling them they need to stop. Yes. So
Yeah.
on that note, this is where we're gonna wrap up until the next episode when we have a brand new guest, a brand new person telling their story. And yes, we're changing the narrative. So
Right now.
thanks for joining me, and we'll definitely be in touch.
No problem, man. Big up
All right,
yourself.
blessings, blessings, blessings.
Yeah, man.
So yes, people, just wrapped up the episode. The gentleman calling from, well, joining me from over here, Maryland, United States of America. Apparently, his child is living in Jamaica, and you heard his story. But again, I welcome everyone to reach out to me, man. Let's have a convo. Let's talk about it, and hopefully, the message gets to who it needs to spark that change, to ensure that the child is being placed at the forefront and things get better for everyone in the long run. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Look forward for more. And as you see it running there at the bottom of the screen, change the narrative on YouTube, Instagram, it's the same at the Real Prince. On my YouTube channel, you should see the email address. That's aprincebusiness at yahoo.com. Reach out to me and we arrange for you to come and share your story. Also on Instagram, you can send me a DM and we make arrangements and make it happen. So, thanks again for tuning in. And until next time, blessings.